Joining us from Riverdale. Then Blackman baseball. We're going to talk to Brad Frazier this morning, and then basketball conversation with Blackman, Laverne, Oakland, then Stewart's Creek baseball and Rockvale, followed by Siegel, Eagleville, and then MTCS Cougar Corner. We're talking with Brad Bird, the softball coach at Middle Tennessee Christian School. So, last night, first round of the region in girls, and some results that were surprising, I guess, in the long run as we look at that, because we had 7 teams going in and only 3 teams now left alive to play in the region. So, last night, the scores look like this. Blackman girls defeating Stewart's Creek 48-31. It was Oakland 56, Wilson Central 38. Lebanon ending the season for Rockvale 66-39. Cookeville a winner over Riverdale 67-14. It was a 6-point win for Stone Memorial on the road at Central Magnet last night to end the season for the Lady Tigers. 57-30. Eagleville a win over Santa Fe, and CAK downs PCA 46-42 in the quarterfinals of the state 12 to end the season for PCA. So that's the Jennings and Ayers Funeral Home scoreboard. Tonight, it's the boys' quarterfinals in region play. We'll have on WGNSradio.com, Siegel versus Lebanon. Then it's Blackman versus Wilson Central, Laverne versus Oakland, Cookeville versus Rockvale, Central Magnet versus Stone Memorial, Eagleville versus Culleoka, and PCA will tangle with Trinity in the state 12 quarterfinal. Also, reminder that this morning at 10:30, we've got Lady Raider basketball, and Dick Palmer will bring you the action. They are playing versus, it's Western Kentucky. That's right. And then the guys at home tonight, 6 o'clock airtime on WGNS Radio, and that's why we'll have the high school quarterfinal game on WGNSradio.com. So that's a schedule of what's to come. We're going to get after it this morning. Conversation with the coaches coming up next on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner.
With all the financial headlines, are you wondering if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. If you have more questions than answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. Stop by our office in the Public Shopping Center on South Rutherford Boulevard or give us a call at 615-907-7056. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We would like to welcome you to our door and hope you find the customer service and expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Las Casas Feed Supply caters to all homeowners with a quarter acre to several acres, focusing on premium feeds and dog foods you won't find in box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
And yes, you can even get milk from the MTSU dairy at Las Casas Feed Supply, the best milk in town. Las Casas Feed on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas.
This is Stan Vaught. I'm a lot like you, a husband, father, farmer, auctioneer, and community supporter. I'm now a candidate for school board in the Las Casas, Walter Hill, Milton, Leanna, Oakland, and Siegel communities. I believe in community schools, vocational education, and getting education back to the basics. I'd appreciate your support for school board.
Early voting going on now. Election day is March 5th. Paid for by Stan Vaught for school board. Stan Vaught, Treasurer.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
We're back here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, family owned and operated since 1977. Get the best service with Prentice Allsup Heating and Air online at PrenticeAllsup.com. riverdale.com. Time to talk some boys soccer this morning. Ali Armand joins us here in studio. And, Coach, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you. Good to have you here this morning.
Thank you.
You have been at Riverdale for how long?
Student taught in 1997 and then started April of 98.
How about that?
So just a couple years.
Living the dream out there,
Yes.
huh?
Yes.
Well, I know that that was before kids and everything, right?
I had an older son.
Did you have an older son
at that point? Yep. And so we had one. He was probably about 5 and ended up going to Riverdale also and played soccer and football there. So just been there a while, and our families enjoyed the experience.
Well, every time there was an extra point or a field goal attempt, in the past couple of years, I've said the Armand name.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, we're happy, and we're glad that he's playing for, a Riverdale team, and happy to support our schools. So.
Well, absolutely, and that has to be special time because you also play soccer, and so you've had the opportunity to coach your own children too, which has got to be fun.
I think with my older son, he only kicked for 2 years. It was 20. Played with, if you remember, Woody, Dylan Woodruff, the quarterback back then, 2010, 2011. Coach Kreisky was there as an assistant, and I remember we were at Maryville in the last game. And, at that time I helped, soccer coach is the, I guess, quote unquote, kicking coach.
Coach, huh?
And I just told myself, you got to learn how to savor this. And so that's what I'm trying to do. It's a blessing to be able to go to work and work with your children and just try to savor it and enjoy it. And because these moments go by fast.
Well, and also know that the guys who you have on your team, I mean, you're a second father. I mean, that you spend a lot of time with these guys.
They're just for so many different backgrounds, so many great young men. And the thing about our boys at Riverdale, I think because of their different backgrounds, we've got them from, of course, America, Central America, South America. We have kids from Europe, Africa. I mean, I think every continent except Australia. And they just have a real passion for soccer, a real humility for it. They just want to play and learn and get better. And that's what, I think any coach you ask would love to have players like that.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And it's really interesting to know that it's a dichotomy of the world, really, that you have there on your soccer team.
And that's what makes it, what's coaching them special and makes it a bit easier because it is like an international language. I mean, you roll the ball out there, they all have a good background with it, good understanding. So what I'm trying to do as a coach is just not get them to play how I want them to play. I'm trying to get the best game out of them and figure out what fits our team the best and help them get to that point. So I'm more trying to be a facilitator than a coach.
You bring up a really interesting point about just you roll the soccer ball out there, and no matter what country you're from, you know what to do. It seems it's an international game.
Yeah, I think with these kids, you'll see they eat, drink, and sleep it. They'll watch the game. Watching is a big part of learning. I mean, they watch it a lot. They're probably in the off season. They're out there playing at every chance they get. So that's the type of game where you just need time on the ball. And the more time on the ball you get, and the more touches you get, the more comfortable you're going to be, and makes it easy for a coach.
Sure. We also have so many youth leagues here in Murfreesboro that really have to help get experience for the younger kids, and then by the time they're ready to play for high school, you've got some good talent, and they really know how to play the game.
Yeah, I think we're seeing it grow. I think we're seeing a lot of clubs in the area in Middle Tennessee, and so soccer is still on the rise. It's a growing sport, so all of those are factors, I think, and it makes it for better soccer in the community.
Mm-hmm.
The games are going to be competitive and close, and I think people want to see that.
You've got soccer practice field. You play some games there. You play on the football field too, I guess.
Yeah. So we got some construction going on at Riverdale right now, but our plan is to play as long as we can in the football stadium. Our games We do know that there is a plan for turf coming in, so we'll have a plan B set up if that happens. But we try to play in boys season. We'll play most of our games in the stadium. We work with Coach Field around track, and that's where we play.
Yeah, and I was just thinking about when you said, turf and what we have over at the Siegel Soccer Complex and where the state spring fling is played for boys and such. It's we really have some great facilities here in town, don't we?
But yes, in Murfreesboro. I mean, I've coached in some club in different parts of Middle Tennessee, and I think those other clubs outside of Murfreesboro would be very, very happy to have the opportunity to train and play there. I think, we got to be thankful for what we have in our community and make the most of it.
We are talking Riverdale boys soccer this morning. Ali Armand joins us here today. And, Coach, just kind of maybe introduce us to your team and say anything you'd like to say about your soccer team.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So got several seniors on the team. I want to just give a shout-out to my senior boys that have been with the team. Edson Chavez has been with us all 4 years. Brody Hansen, Braulio Hernandez, DK and DV Justice. We got a pair of twins out there. I think they're both wrestlers, so we're hoping to get them back soon. Garrett Knipe, he's had the last 2 years. He's been injured, so very good defender. We're happy to have him healthy. Ethan Mantor, I had the pleasure of coaching his mother, and then I had the pleasure of coaching Ethan when he was younger with my son, and then we have Saint Cyr and Mbajudum, Benoit and Safiri. Both guys have a real passion for the game. Saint plays in the back for us, and Benoit is our center mid, our captain, heartbeat of the team, soul of the team. And then Omar Porras is a defender for us, and he's our last senior. It's just some other key players that we have. Miles Weaver, he played football this last year too. He's in goal for us. He's a sophomore. Khalil Armand plays up top for us, so we're hoping to get some goals from him. And just a great mix of young men, and they're working together, they're bonding. But and a freshman that we have that we're expecting a lot out of is Andy Lazo. He's a freshman. He's starting. He's an attacking mid, and looking for big things from him.
The boys soccer season goes by really quick, doesn't it, in the spring?
You're exactly right. It goes by quick. We're doing 2 games a week, mainly Tuesday, Friday. We already had our first scrimmage in 2 weeks. March 11th is our first game, and it is. It seems like it goes by faster every year, but yes, it goes by quick.
So the season gets underway pretty soon, and then the district. Kind of talk to me about the district. It always seems very competitive, and we generally have someone representing in spring fling.
That's exactly right. Our district's very competitive. I think for us, we've been, last couple of years, we've been working to get more competitive with the teams in our district. I think when Open Rockville took a little toll on our roster, and now we've built that back up. So Oakland, Blackman, Rockville, Siegel, right now, they're all going to be good games. All have good players, good coaches, competitive. So, it's going to be a good Murfreesboro district.
Well, non-district, I'm sure you don't shy away from any of the great teams here in Middle Tennessee.
No, we scheduled Laverne early. They historically make good runs, plus they're close. So I wanted to, try to have a measuring stick early on to see where we're at, and so that we open with them, and that'll be a good first game.
Yeah, and when does the season start?
March 11th, just same as baseball. It's a Monday.
Gotcha.
We're going to play that first day, and I'm sure baseball will too, and, and softball and everybody. So,
well, it's definitely here upon us. So it's always a fun time, and again, you blink and you're in May talking about spring fling and that kind of thing. So look forward to spring sports coming up here. And Coach, thanks for coming in this morning and spreading the word about your boys soccer team at Riverdale.
Thank you for having me.
That is boys soccer coach Ali Arman from Riverdale joining us here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Butch Vaughn for Rutherford County School Board, Zone 6. Learn more at butchvaughnforschoolboard.com.
Finding that missing shin guard, remembering whether it's a home or away game, getting the right kid to the right playing field on the right day. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple so you can worry about more important things, like not being that fan. Oh, come on, Ref! That's simple human sense.
Rayburn Insurance in Smyrna.
Come see me, Rick Hall, at Rayburn Insurance in downtown Smyrna today.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom designed jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
We fulfill all your tax preparation needs from individual returns to corporations and handle any of those scary letters you may get from the IRS.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
Dr. Automotive is the cure for your car. Brothers Danny and Randy Brewer have been providing Rutherford County with ASE certified auto repair for nearly 20 years. You'll receive courteous and friendly customer service every time. Why? Because we grew up here, and you are our neighbors. Foreign and domestic auto repair and maintenance on Hazelwood Drive in Smyrna, just off I-24. SmyrnaAutorepair.com, 615-220-0971. Just ask for Danny.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
We're back here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Parks Auction Company. Let their team of experienced and professionally trained staff utilize the auction process to sell your property. Find out more at parksauction.com. Well, we've got a little baseball conversation for you this morning, and the new head coach of the Blackman Blaze, Brad Frazier, joining us. And Coach, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning to you.
Good to have you here this morning. Talk to me a little bit about yourself and this new venture as the head coach at Blackman.
Yeah, it's I think it was year 26 or 27. I can't remember. I think it was 27 years of coaching. Started out as an assistant coach at Franklin High School, moved to Cheatham, head coach at Harpeth High School for three or 4 years. Spent 11 years at Cheville as a head coach, and then Coach Vetter asked me to come up, I guess 7 years ago, to help him at Blackman. And then he moved on to take a college job, and that was kind of the reason I left Cheville. He goes, I'm not going to do this so long, just kind of walk right into it. So. It's been a good transition. Kids have bought in and worked really hard.
Did you coach first or third?
I coached third. Yeah.
Third, yeah.
I coached third.
I remember seeing you trot out of the dugout, and when we've done some of the ball games. This has been a little easier transition to be able just to come right into a program where you've already been established.
Right. Yeah. The kids knew me. I mean, they know expectations. I had the same expectations as an assistant as I do as a head coach. The kids. Now I think that was one of the easiest things is familiarity.
Mm-hmm.
It's been an easy transition. Been different for me. Been a lot more. Now it's instead of just coaching and taking care of field. Now it's paperwork, fundraising. But luckily I've done all that before.
Yeah.
Being a head coach, having that experience.
Well, it's different when the buck stops at you.
Right. It does. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
I know that a baseball team in good hands with you at the helm. And who do you have helping you as assistants?
C.J. Witt's back. He's been there a while. Greg Jones, he's been with us, I think, 4 years now. or maybe 5. He came over from the middle school a few years back. Hired a new guy named Barry Eddings. Barry Eddings is a load of experience. He's been at Mount Juliet back in their heyday. Recently just left Centennial. And actually, he's a football, baseball guy.
Oh, okay.
So he come over with Coach K, and I've known him, I guess, ever since I started coaching. So been a big help. And then our volunteer coach is Cam Robertson. He's done a good job. He's a younger guy, and the kids really gravitate to him. So it's been a good. It's a good staff. We're excited.
We are talking Blackman baseball. Brad Frazier joining us, the head coach of Blackman High School. We was talking to you right before we went on about the district, and the district always seems so competitive, and you play these 3-game series, and it comes down to half a game here or there, and district tournament, there's almost always some kind of upset, and it's just really a fun league to be a part of, I think.
Yeah, it really is. For years people always said if you want to get to the state tournament, it has to go through Murfreesboro. And that's why we have 2 great tournaments we host here every year, and that's kind of a showcase of who's going to possibly be in the final 8 in 4 AAA now.
Yeah.
It's our district this year. I thought it was young last year. We're only having to replace like really 2 starters, and I think kind of everybody's in the same boat. Everybody's got people back, so it's highly competitive. A lot of times people think Game 3 doesn't mean a lot in a series. Game 3 in this district means a whole lot because like you said, half a game here. It's a great league. It really is.
And I can't remember the last time we didn't have somebody playing in spring fling, and you battle through the district and get in the tournament and then region tournament, and we've had lots of Rutherford County teams go on the road and sub-state or sectional and win and get there. And then when you talk about the other district here in the county, it just got a whole lot tougher for the region.
It sure did. Now, with Stewart's Creek and then Wilson Central and Cookeville, Lebanon, which we scrimmage next week. It's going to be a good. Well, actually, we scrimmage Wilson Central Tuesday and Lebanon on Saturday, so it's a really good idea. Gives us a good idea where we sit. It's going to be a lot harder to get through.
Do you try to play some of the teams in that other region as well?
Yeah, we got Wilson Central again later on in the year. Yeah, it's a good idea to kind of, baseball's a different game. It's a whole the scouting is different in baseball, but you still got to get a look and see how hey, I remember that guy. He's pretty good. We stay away from him. I think it's a good deal for us to play. And we're so close.
Yeah,
we're 30 minutes away from either one of those schools. And they're great competition.
Sure, makes a difference, especially when you're traveling and when you're playing so many games. Yeah. I mean, I was just talking to Coach Armand at Riverdale about soccer and how quick it goes. Man, baseball, you blink and it's here and gone.
It's a sprint.
Yeah,
that's what we talk about our guys. It's a sprint. It's not really a distance race.
Well, maybe just kind of introduce us to any of your players you'd like to mention here this morning for Blackman baseball.
Yeah, we're returning some guys that were all district players last year. Kenny Cologne be handling the catching position for us behind the dish. Dylan Dapolito's been a 2-time all district player. Just recently committed to Bethel. He's solid. He's kind of our team guy, team leader guy, because people kind of know he's one of your best guys. Got replaced for 2 middle infielders. That's what we're replacing this year, and we feel like we have 2 good ones, 2 good athletes, Mitchell Cunningham and Jacob Adamson. We were returning all our outfielders. I think that's a lot of experience coming back. Third baseman's back, Cooper Stevens, solid baseball player. Our staff, Carter Gregory, should head our staff. He's been really good this spring. Got a guy last year was hurt most of the year coming back, Joe Morera. Nice right-handed pitcher. I think he should work right in the district pitching staff for us. Got a sophomore, Andrew Monson. He was a district guy as a freshman pitcher, and that don't happen a whole lot in our district. So I think, a year under his belt, he's going to be a lot better. But
that's younger brother of Emily, who played basketball last year at Blackman.
Yeah, and they got the same kind of work credentials. They work at it.
I bet,
They work at it hard, and I love that about them. But, yeah, we've got some really good players. Our pitching staff coming back, in relief. We got Jonah Brown, also playing right field. Trey Wolcott, he's our center fielder, but he's also going to come in and close out games. We have a lot of young kids this year. We're really sophomore heavy. I think there's like 14 guys in that class, and we can see every one of those. Like I was giving out varsity jerseys the other day, and I was like, don't have enough jerseys for all these guys because every one of them is going to help us sometime during the season. But we have the Beveridge twins that one of them's going to be a backup catcher, another one going to be a backup third baseman probably. Mac Bolden can play third or first, and probably should help us on the hill. I'm trying to think. We have a new guy moved in here, as a homeschool guy, just moved in our area, Red Hayes. We're really excited about him. He was like somebody we weren't planning on us. He just popped up and showed up. We're like, oh, let's see you throw. You're like, okay, that will play in this district. So, really I'm looking at our seniors, and I've talked to all of them. I'm like, guys, you're the leaders of this team. I said, we just facilitate. It's your team. This is the team you'll remember the rest of your life. And I think they've done a good job with it. We have some that are a little vocal. We have some that are not vocal. And I said, if you're not vocal, just lead by example. And I really feel that that's going to be a big deal for us this year.
Well, I've noticed that there's always something that goes on at the ball field in terms of, improvements and things of that nature. And maybe it was here last year and I just noticed it since I've been at Blackman so much with basketball, but it looks like the fence is painted or has been or
we I guess the very first year I was there, Barry's like, what do you see need to be done? I was like, man, we need to get rid of this wood.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, let's tin this thing. I said, it looks nicer. It's going to last longer. You don't have to repaint it. We did that. Now we did repaint the back of the wall.
Okay. That's what I noticed.
Yeah, that was one of the, because it was just wood and, it looked bad from the road. So actually.
It all makes it look like the same thing now really is what I would guess really I noticed. Yeah.
And ROTC's helping us with that a little bit. They're kind of taking care of the back because that joins their field of fire. So they've taken a little help with that on us too. So it's been a joint adventure.
Well, I appreciate you spending some time with us this morning, and I look forward to coming out and covering the Blaze. And it like I said, when it's here, it's here in a flurry, and it's going to be fun year this year in baseball in the district, and look forward to covering your guys some.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Come on out. Have great press box to watch a game.
Yes.
It's always heated. That's what I tell people.
And that's important this early season for sure. Brad Frazier joining us, the head coach of Blackman High School baseball on the Coaches Show, which is brought to you by Dan France Concrete, a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. That's Dan France Concrete.
One hot and ready classic. We actually changed it with...
What? You've changed, Little Caesars. You've changed! You've changed! Ah! Tell me why.
It tastes even better because we added 33% more pepperoni.
Give me one of those.
Little Caesars Pizza in Murfreesboro. 4 locations: Memorial Boulevard, South Rutherford Boulevard, Old Ford Parkway, and Warrior Drive.
Walk in and walk out with the new Hot and Ready Classic with 33% more pepperoni.
Pizza. Parks Auction. We handle everything.
Whether you're buying or selling a home or whether you're buying or selling commercial property, the auction is just so much easier, quicker, smoother.
My wife and I sold our personal home. Parks Auctions helped us with that. The house brought about 20% more than we were going to ask for.
Visit our website at parksauction.com to learn more.
Hey, if they're into having a home now, $15.
Stan Vaught and the Parks Auction team are proud supporters of local high school and MTSU sports.
30, sold it to you.
If you need concrete work done, who would I call? Dan France Concrete. Here's why. He's local. He attended Walter Hill Elementary, Oakland, and MTSU. He served our community as a school resource officer for 9 years, and he's involved in the community.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Dan France Concrete is a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. Check out danfranceconcrete.com online to see some of their work.
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
I want expert advice on going 100% solar.
I want to go green without breaking the bank.
I want to meet my sustainability goals.
I want solar to be simple.
Done.
I want to save the planet.
Little hero, let's start with one of MTE's solar programs first. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at mte.com.
The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
We're back here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Middle Tennessee Electric, serving our community by providing affordable, reliable, and safe electricity online at MTE.com. It's my honor to welcome in Blackman boys basketball coach Barry Wertman to talk some hoops this morning. And Coach, this is the time of the year when there's not a lot of sleep and there's lots of practice, and I'm sure, knowing you're dreaming up plays, huh?
Well, we're gonna try to trust our base down the stretch here, be truthfully. But yeah, a lot of fun. Wrinkles are important this time of year, and trying to get a little edge, and with our team, like a lot of teams, we're trying to be probably a little bit more mental to the physical right now in regards to preparation and trust our base, and that's what we'll try to do tonight. Well,
you've got the Wilson Central Wildcats coming in, and they are the 4 seed, so they finished 4th in the tournament. And just a word about your finish in the district tournament, winning the championship. That was quite a feat, and I don't know what it is about you. I've had 100 people ask me, what does Barry do? Well, I mean, what changes in the postseason? Because it seems like your guys just really come together, and maybe trusting your base is what we're talking about here.
Well, for the last 14 years, I have a bunch of really good players.
Well, that helps.
Good players going to win. But the last couple of years, we've been really young. We started these guys as juniors. Now they all started as freshmen. And youth and inexperience leads to a little up and down play. And we've been last 3 years, we hadn't been as consistent as we wanted to be. But I do think we found our team down the stretch. And we do have some core values that we believe in. And I think if you can stay the course and keep your team together, that'll bode you well in tournament play.
Well, one thing that I've seen as a difference, you're getting very good play inside, and you've got not only Christian Johnson, but you've got another little weapon that has really come on in McDonald here to give you 2 bigs inside.
Well, Christian's been so good for 3 years.
Yeah.
And that old saying, I don't know that people ask me about Christian. I don't know how good he's going to be, but he's going to be as good as he can possibly be. And that's what's happened. Loves basketball, has improved every season, every month, every day in practice, and then he's getting a huge return on that investment in the floor. So I'm just so proud how he's played, how receptive to coaching is. And like I say, he's getting that into the game on a consistent basis. And with Keller and Jalen's emergence on the front line, it's allowed Christian to really play a little bit more of a natural position with sort of a 4, as opposed to straight back to the basket guy, and it's also forced people to play him a little different with a little different personnel. So their emergence, Keller and Jackson and Jalen McDonald's emergence on the front line has given us a really nice front line. It's allowed us to score the ball around the goal, rebound it better. We're much more consistent. We're getting to the line more, scoring more in the paint more, and it's allowed our perimeter play to not have to carry us and made the game easier and get a lot more open shots and not make the game as hard. So all of it sort of come together with that front line. But you're right, our front line play and Jalen McDonald's emergence has been big time.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Keller Jackson, because he's you at any given time you can have 2 of your bigs in, and that's something that not everybody has, and so that's an advantage. But I wanted to go back to something that you mentioned, that inside play. Now that's opened up more, it seems to have taken pressure off, and Garrison and Flowers, they seem to be playing a little bit freer. I don't know.
That's a good point. The game's easier when you have both offensively and defense. The game's a little easier and playing with a little bit more flow. A little more balance, and that's definitely helped our team.
Talk about Garrison Edey a bit, because it's more than just points for him. You've got some good leadership out there on the floor.
Well, like I've said over and over, he's starting to figure out the game of basketball. He for like most young players, he was playing basketball, and now that he's playing the game with a lot more purpose and understands leadership role at the point and what's expected there. Not really expected as much as needed. And his assist to turnover ratio is not where the Isaiah Harts and Donovan Sims is, but it's getting there. And like I say, he's had a couple of 6 assist game, and those Gretzky's, we call it, those hockey assists are up. He's getting out of his hands and making the game easier for him and others. And his play has been great. And like I say, all of our play, I thought Dyson needed 11 rebounds in a high school basketball game. I mean, that's big time, 3 offensive. His being out all year, it really affected our team in a lot of ways. And Garrison being out for 5 games, we had some other injuries. But I think his unique ability to guard multiple positions and like I say, 11 rebounds is from that 3 spot was huge for our team. And then Braden Flowers and others really, really done a nice job on that perimeter of making us a little bit more of a complete team down the stretch.
We're talking with Barry Workman, the head coach of the Blackman Blaze boys basketball this morning. One thing that's a little bit different from teams in your teams in the past, you seem to be a little deeper, or you seem to be playing more guys. I mean, we've known you to make just a couple of subs with some teams, but I guess you had to develop that depth when you had like Elam out and Edie out for a while, and now it's hard to keep them off the floor.
Yeah, with the emergence of our front line and Jalen Bowden, we saw that with Keller Jackson. But Jalen, boy, we knew he was going to end up being one of the better players that came out of Blackman. You just see his talent and his hands and his pace and his temperament. There's a lot of things you could see, but his emergence, especially over Christmas, and then Keller's emergence, sort of changed our team. And then with some injuries, we're you really want to find your team and have a team and have a rotation. And we just weren't able to find that this year. And I thought that down the stretch we've been able to find that. Guys sort of may not like the role, but at least they can sort of know what it is, and they can play to his strength, and that's helped our team. I think most teams, the team we're playing tonight plays with 6.5, plays 7 guys, really 6.5. I think Siegel plays with 6 most time. No, but down the stretch, most benches shorten down the stretch, and especially in tournament play, and we typically have done that too. And hope guys are all staying ready, because shining moment plays happen to those teams and players that stay ready and are ready for the moment. But when you find your team, it gives you a better chance to be successful, and hopefully we've done that.
We want to congratulate you on the district tournament championship, beating Siegel 49-37, and that really, your guys never backed down. I mean, you went into Siegel's house last game of the regular season, or almost last, toward the end of the season, and they had won 22 games and only 2 losses, and you beat them there, and then in the district tournament just a few days later. So, that your guys aren't afraid to hoop it up with anybody.
Well, we've got a good team. We know we're good. We've known been good all year. Haven't really found our team. We sort of pride ourselves in we're I think 15-11, and that's not the standard we want to be, and people don't like it. And a little angry and nasty and ill at Blackman High School, and that's so we like that, But we know we're a better basketball team than that, and so thank you so much. You never take championships away from a program and a Team 24. So that district championship's important to us. And it gave us some seeding, so now we'll see. But I say it every year, and I'm talking to my team more than anybody else. This game can be unbelievably cruel. We stole that from Isaiah Thomas, the great Isaiah Thomas, and it can be. And it starts tonight and go from 64 to 32. We want to be one of the ones standing, but in order to do that, we're going to have to play well against a very unique and talented offensive basketball team in Wilson Central.
Well, one thing is for sure, the region is a lot different than it has been in the past, with the addition of teams like, Lebanon and Wilson Central and Cookeville. So, the road, as if it wasn't hard enough, it got harder, I think.
Well, I'm so razor focused on Wilson Central that that's really my whole focus, but. In preparing for them, you've got the team that we're playing tonight. you've got two top 10 teams in the state, in my opinion, two 20-win teams in Cookeville and Laverne. They both played 6 times over the last 5 weeks, so you get a really good measuring stick when you play teams of that caliber. It's an awfully talented team. I don't think we've ever played a team with 4 guards and a 6'5", 6'6" center and 4 guards, or at least 3 guards and a wing. That all 3 of them are 3-level scorers. Can score it from 3, can go get their own shot, can score it at the rim. So they're very unique. They'll score it, and if you turn it over, they'll convert. And that's sort of been our kryptonite. So we'll have an unbelievably challenging opportunity tonight. Our team is very aware of the talent and the growth of Wilson Central. So at 7 o'clock tonight, we'll tee it up against what I think is a very challenging and talented offensive team that scraps and competes and plays with great purpose. And like I say, can score it with anybody they play. So it'll be a big-time challenge for our team tonight.
Well, obviously, it's one step at a time. You mentioned going from 64 to 32, and we're going to whittle this thing down to 16 by the time Tuesday is over. And I know the goal is the next goal is to just win them one at a time here, I guess.
Yeah, razor focused on tonight. Again, looking really forward to it. I think our team, I know our team will compete and play to a standard. And what we always want to do this time of year is make sure that we don't get beat. Time may run out, but we never get beat. We're competing like crazy.
Barry, appreciate it. Good luck tonight, and we look forward to covering the Blaze here for many more games, hopefully.
Thank you so much, Brian. Appreciate our community's been phenomenal this year, coming out, supporting our team. Our guys will really appreciate it at 7 o'clock. Got a lot of people coming. Our student body got 2 prom tickets going out to somebody with the most passion, enthusiasm, and spirit. We got some people looking for you, and I'd love to give those out to our student body as well. So excited to be a good brand of basketball tonight.
Yeah, well, that sounds like fun. You're always figuring out new ways to get the student section involved. That's good stuff. All right, Barry Wertman joining us here this morning on the Coach's Show, brought to you by Carpets by Osborne, who'd love to help you complete any job, whether residential or commercial. Carpet, tile, hardwood, vinyl, rugs, and more. Locally owned and operated, carpetsbyosborne.com.
We're talking now with Heather here at Carpets by Osborne. Tell us what it's like to work at a family business.
It's a lot of fun. However, it's a lot of work. Everybody has to pull their weight equally.
What do you think are some of the advantages of people doing business with a family business versus a corporate business?
We are here to answer all questions. We're responsible for scheduling jobs. We're not here to sell you material and pass you off to a list of installers.
Carpets by Osborne on Northwest Broad, next to Tire World.
Whether you're a student, alumni, or just a fan, Raider Tees has exactly what you need to help you cheer on the Blue Raiders on game days and every moment in between. We sell officially licensed Blue Raider gear, whether it's clothing, hats, flags, chairs, or just whatever. We have it all, including exclusive gear you won't find anywhere else. Like us on Facebook for updates on new Blue Raider gear and special prices or discounts. For all your Blue Raider gear, shop Raider Tees today. Bigger, better, and go blue!
It's a critical time in education, and we need experience on the Rutherford County School Board. That's why we need to elect Butch Vaughn to the school board in Zone 6. He brings experience as a public educator from his years in the classroom and as a coach to being principal at Central and Blackman Middle and Oakland High Schools. Butch Vaughn has also been in private education as the former headmaster at PCA. Experience counts, especially now. That's why we need Butch Vaughn on the Rutherford County School Board. Paid for by Butch Vaughn for School Board. Pryor Manning, Treasurer.
Pizza.
You in a hurry for dinner? Well, we've made it even easier to order online at sirpizzatn.com. Tap the location nearest you and begin your carry-out or delivery order at sirpizzatn.com. You can choose from our full menu, and we'll take care of the rest. A Queen's Feast is calling my name. Order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coach's Show is brought to you by Rick's Barbecue, serving up the best smoked barbecue ribs and many local favorites on Warrior Drive. locally operated by Anne Marie Brentz and the Lanning family. I'm Danny Brewer. I am just happier than a doggone pig in slop right now because I am joined by Laverne head basketball coach Tony Rutland. Coach, how are you this morning?
I'm good. Ready to get started.
Yeah, because a big day,
yes.
big day today for Laverne basketball. You're hosting in the first round of the region, so that's exciting.
It is.
Let's rewind a little bit to the district championship game that was Tuesday night at your place, Cookeville. You got off to a tremendous start. You had to be excited when you were up 9-2 at one time, right?
It was. For some reason, every time we played Cookeville, we come out and we start off really well. But just like any other good team, I tell my guys, the basketball game is a game of runs, and it's how you counter, and they know how to counter really well. So they made adjustments. We just couldn't finish like we wanted to, but overall, a little bit pleased. I think our game plan was good going into the game, so we just got to go back and execute and keep going.
Absolutely right, Coach. Now, before the game, we talked. You said the keys to the game are us getting to the rack and our transition defense.
Yes.
And you were absolutely right on that. You got to the rack some in the first half. It was tied up.
Yep.
The start of the second half, it was a Cookeville buzzsaw because I think they hit 6 out of 7, and they got the ball out in the open floor and got open looks at threes and knocked them down.
I think when Ayers hit that three at halftime, I think that took all the momentum and put it to them. Again, I think in the third quarter, he came out and hit a three. But when we kept missing, we weren't getting back in transition, and they were able to push the ball and attack the gaps and able to get shots. And I think that was one of the things. We had to get back, and we had to make sure that we played the gaps, played it tight, and then ran out on the shooters. But, again, when you have their point guard attacking and passing it out, they were able to knock down all their shots.
They're a pretty doggone good basketball team.
Very good. I look at them, and I just think that, their point guard is their best player. He's their glue. He never panics. He really controls the game, and he can take it over. That's what you want in a leader in a point guard. And I'm not saying that I don't have any, but, when times get tough, he is the coach on the court, and he made the right plays.
No, absolutely did. I know a couple in the second half, too. You got to the rack, but you had, I think, maybe like 4 straight possessions where you missed point-blank shots.
Yeah, and, Quietus kept our defense wasn't bad. We were able to get turnovers. I think we had more turnovers. We got more steals. We just couldn't finish in transition. I think we tried to make the home run play. We tried to make the spectacular play, and instead of just keeping it simple, we were at home, and those are momentum builders. Like we get turnovers, we were able to get the point guard to have maybe 4 or 5 turnovers that game. We score on those, it's a different ball game. Now we're able to adjust, and they might have to adjust, and then you never know what happens towards that game. But again, it's just, experience and runs, and I think we get over that. I think we've done that before, and we move on.
So we're going to talk about thoroughbreds. You're a basketball thoroughbred. I'm going to talk about regular thoroughbreds. Today is Rebel Stakes Day at Oaklawn Park. They're running the Rebel Stakes. It's a big Kentucky Derby prep. There's last year's winner was a horse called Confidence Game, trained by Keith DeSormo. Talk about the confidence that you guys need in your game, especially going into tonight.
I think we have a lot of confidence. I don't put pressure on my guys, but again, we're the higher seed, and I think when you play a team like Oakland, they're young. They just go in and out, and they play in transition. They're a dangerous team, and I think stressing that to my guys all week is the best thing. And so, I think, we're never going to be surprised with Oakland, and I think we're confident, but we're still going to play our game. We're going to go inside. We're going to get out in transition. We're going to try to play defense, and, if we do those things, it'll be a good game for us.
So the same trainer last year, of course, Carlton's game was an upset winner. He's got a horse called Next Level. It's a son of Vina Rosso. Keith DeSormo's the trainer. Next Level's 30-1 on the morning line. How do you get last year's sub-state team? Yep. How do you get your team to the next level? And it starts with tonight.
It does, but it really started in the beginning of the year. I think our schedule is one of the, if you look online, is probably one of the top 10 to 15 in the state as far as toughest schedule. That's what we did. We prepared ourselves in the beginning, the middle, and now. So it's not like we haven't seen great teams throughout. We played tough teams in the state of Arkansas, here. So that's how we prepared ourselves, and that's how we're able to get to the next level, is all preparations before this day. So when it comes to tonight, I don't think we're going to be nervous because we've been here before and we've been here throughout the year. But we're just going to go out in there and play.
So when we talk about building the program, which is what you talked about as far as what you're trying to do with schedule and all that kind of stuff, you've really got a fairly young lineup because Lenore is a senior,
yes.
and that kid has done an outstanding job as a point guard. And you got White, who's a senior, but your other three starters are all sophomores and juniors, right?
Yes, and I have a couple more that's on the bench that's getting experience. They were able to get some time, but yeah, we're fairly young, and I think again it's just the next man up. We've played some games where Landon Bryan has fouled out or didn't have a good game and somebody else stepped up, and that's just what it is. We have guys that know the role. They play each other in practice, so it's a no-brainer when it comes to the game. And if you can practice hard and you can execute in practice, the game is supposed to be easy.
When we talk about Bryant, I mean, he's got the tools, I think, to be a really good basketball player. Is it important for him to finish at the rack tonight?
I've been stressing with him is getting to the free throw line. Teams know he can shoot, and he can drive. Getting to the free throw line in post play is very important. If you don't see your shot, or if they're pressing up on you, and he get to the basket and get to the free throw line, see the ball go in, it helps tremendously. And then it's going to help the inside play. Just like if Dante can get to the free throw line and knock down free throws, it's going to help for our guard play. So for him to work on his overall game is very important for us, but he has it, and he's been working. I mean, he's a tremendous hard worker. I mean, he's in the gym. He works on his game, very lanky, plays defense. I mean, he's had double-doubles where he had, 10-plus points and rebounds. So he's going to be a good player.
When you think about the free throw line, you guys shot 80% the other night, but you were only 4 or 5. You only got to the free throw line 5 times.
And that's the thing. And I try to tell my guys, whenever you want to stop a team's run, get to the free throw line. Time stop, and they're waiting for you to shoot free throws. We can score without the time going, and it stops them. So it's like a mini timeout. But if we don't get to the free throw line, if we don't attack the basket, especially if we're in a bonus, it definitely hurts. But, we've been through that throughout the year, and I think the guys are starting to get it. So been stressing it out a lot during practice, but we'll see.
So tonight is the key for you playing Wolverine basketball, because I think that you've got the piece to the puzzle that you can play half court or you can play open court, but you just need to play Wolverine style basketball.
Definitely. We have to, again, put the pressure defensively. We have to have a great defensive game. They have a lot of young guys that can go inside and out. They like to get out and transition. So our job is to play defense first, and then the offense will come. If you can get stops, a lot of times we can score in transition. We can, get out and open it up. And if we could shoot the ball really well today, I think it'll be good. If not, I told the guys, hey, it's going to be a long dog fight because they're pretty good. When you think about
Laverne, Oakland, first round of the region, is that kind of special? I mean, I know you're not from around here, but still, it's in the county. Is that kind of cool?
It is. When I was at Stewart's Creek with Don, we've always battled with the Oaklands and, Seagulls and everybody in the county. And then when we got split up, it just kind of was different. But, always playing somebody in Rutherford County is always special. And, we know them, they know us, and, it should be fun.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck. That's Tony Rutland, head basketball coach at Laverne High School. He has really done some wonderful things with that program. Coach, once again, best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
The Coach's Show is brought to you by First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. If you're looking for a hometown feel with your bank, turn to the First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, offering full-service banking and mortgage services.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service. From personal tax preparation to business bookkeeping, payroll, and taxes, at Craig's Tax Service, our staff is here to help.
Get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
As a former Siegel Star football player, I know the importance of the high school sports experience. Good luck to all county student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
Franklin's Printworks has been in Murfreesboro for over 25 years. We are a full-service commercial printer, everything from business cards, brochures, booklets to banners. My name is Jeff Carlton. I handle sales and marketing for Franklin's Printworks. We hear a lot people who have been working with printers on the internet, had issues, and they know that if we're working with someone local, that A, they know where to find us, and B, they know that we'll take care of it because we have to take care of our neighbors. Our website is franklinsprinting.org.
Winners Trophies can help you with customized awards for any occasion. Owner Kelly Hockenberry continues to provide awards for sports teams, churches, recognition awards, and more. Call Winners Trophies at 904-6002. That's 904-6002 for the best in quality, service, and pricing. You can also email Kelly, winnerstrophy@comcast.net. That's winnerstrophy@comcast.net. Any award for any occasion. Winners Trophies, 904-6002.
We're catching up with Anne-Marie Brents at Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive, another one of our great local businesses.
Yeah, it's a big family business. Knowing that my grandparents started it, to see it evolve and what it is now, it's just been really cool and I love it. It's just something I'm very passionate about and customers have been great to us as well.
Whether it's a quick meal, feeding the whole family, or catering, Rick's Barbecue can handle it all.
It's really something I'm really passionate about, very blessed and thankful for.
Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive. At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wommel. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto.
So what if your roommate decides to microwave a metal mixing bowl and sets your apartment on fire? I'm State Farm agent Bud Morris. Auto, renters, frankly, any kind of insurance. I've got your back. Call me at 615-893-1417.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee is dedicated to Rutherford County, its students, their families, and their futures. Hi, I'm Ryan Savage, Assistant Vice President and Branch Manager. We understand the challenges of managing your family's finances. At First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, your family is our family. Visit us at our Gateway or Memorial Boulevard offices here in Murfreesboro and always online at fnbmt.com. First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC, NMLS 401715.
Dr. Russell McKissick of Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance talks about the grassroots effort in our local schools to ensure proper care for players.
To make sure our teams are covered here locally, be there for our trainers. Yeah, it's a passion that we have to try to take care of our athletes here in town and be there just to keep everybody playing as healthy and as best they can.
From a community standpoint, one of the most important things you do at TOA, I'd guess.
I think it's definitely a way to pay back to our community, just to be there for them and watch some great sports too.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, live your best life.
How about a fix for your sweet tooth? Donut Country is open 24 hours a day to cure your cravings. They've been serving up the freshest donuts in Murfreesboro since 1978. There's just something different about donuts from Donut Country. Bo and Cindy Davis and their wonderful staff will greet you with a smile, and you'll see all donuts aren't created equal. Fresh donuts anytime you want them, 24/7 at Donut Country on Memorial down from Clark. And they're open each morning on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. Check out their Facebook page for specials and promotions. Nothing else compares to Donut Country. Open 24 hours.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the Law Offices of John Day. I've lived and worked as a lawyer in Middle Tennessee for over 30 years, and to me, every single day has been an honor. That's why our firm is so involved with community programs like bicycle helmet giveaways and our Safe Ride Home program. At the Law Offices of John Day, we're not just looking to make donations. We want to make a difference in the community we hold so dear. And if you're ever injured, know that we are here for you too.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com. It's MTCS Cougar Quarter. The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Quarter, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Stan Vaught for Rutherford County School Board Zone 2. That's Stan Vaught, Rutherford County School Board in Zone 2. The sun is shining. I'm Danny Brewer. It's exciting times right now. I'm with Dyron Birdwell, the head basketball coach at Oakland High School. Coach, how are we this morning?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, well, I'm quite well. You know, like I said, we got some sunshine.
Oh, yeah.
It's getting toward the end of February. It's exciting times in the high school basketball world.
Yeah, for sure. With us, you know, I tell my kids this is kind of like the first round of the NCAA tournament. You know, there's 64 teams left in 4A, and you know, they'll wake up tomorrow and they'll be half of that, you know, so just, yeah, definitely exciting times and looking forward to competing and trying to give ourselves a chance to win.
So I know you're at Laverne tonight in the first round of the region, but let's talk about how you got there, the Rockvale game, the comeback in the Rockvale game. Let's talk a little bit about that. That was kind of an ebb and flow game. It looked like Rockvale was in control. The next thing you know, bam, there's the Oakland Patriots.
Yeah, I thought we kind of started our run with a couple offensive rebounds. I know Isaiah Verge, I think, got one. Yeshai Cobb got one and, you know, got a couple putbacks. And then, you know, you make a shot and you look up and you're only down, you know, 2 or 3, and then, you know, we make a play to get up 1 and get a stop, and then, you know, we miss a shot and they come down and hit a 3, and you know, then Bronson makes a great, you know, and one there at the end of it with about a minute to go, where he's driving left, it spins back and, you know, gets a and one and puts us back up 1, and then, you know, again, shout out to Isaiah Verge for making the big time free throws there at the end of the game, you know, to keep us up 3, where, you know, not that you feel good, but you feel a little better than being up 1 or 2 at that point. But yeah, credit to the guys. I thought we played well and never really gave up. You know, there's been times this year where we've got down by 8 or 10, and it's felt like we just couldn't score enough to get over the hump. But against Rockvale, we made the plays to win the game, and you know, like I told, you know, my staff, you know, credit to Rockvale. I thought they played well. You know, went 11 of 18 from 3. I'll probably, you know, coach the rest of my career and never win a game when the other team makes 11 threes, especially 11 of 18. But thought we played well and you know, gave ourselves a chance, and hopefully that'll, you know, roll over a week later.
Well, you hope so. And that you kind of touched on the thing that I want to talk about next, staying the course. You guys stayed the course in that game, and you're right, it was easy because you were down 8 or 10 points there a couple of different times in that game, but you stayed the course. Proud of those kids.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I thought we had to defend better, and you know, we finally did. Not that it was perfect by any stretch, but we made the timely stops, I guess, and like you said, credit to the kids for not, you know, freaking out, or, you know, my big thing that I try to tell them all when we get down is, hey, there's no 8-point shot or no 10-point shot, and, you know, you can't do it all by yourself. We've got to have different guys step up and make plays when it matters, and, you know, again, against Rockville, I thought we did, and I thought we've, you know, slowly getting a little healthier, with Chase coming back these last 3 or 4 weeks, and then starting to kind of find our groove of who we are and what we are and how we've got to win games. And I thought we did that against Rockville. I didn't think we did that the night before against Siegel, but of course that's credit to Siegel. But we've played a little better over these last 8 games, I guess, and hoping to continue to do so tonight and hopefully moving forward.
So this is a very, very good point. There's no 8-point shot. Understanding one possession at a time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. You got to get stops if you want to make a comeback. And we're a big transition team, like most teams are. But if you're having to take the ball out of the net every time down, it's going to be hard to play very fast. And you've got to get stops. 2 or 3 stops in a row. We really harp on and when you do that, you get out in transition and you make it a little easier on yourself for not having to go up against a set defense every time. And then you can make the plays to win a game. But when you get down, you've got to really lock in, because it's easy to start pointing fingers, or it's easy to think, well, I've got to go get mine now, or I've got to go score and get us back in the game. And we've done that some, especially earlier in the year. But I thought here over the last few weeks, starting with the comeback win against Blackman, and then especially against Rockville in the consolation game, that we're starting to understand that a little bit more.
Coach, you're named after Dyron Nix. We've talked about this before. We've talked about your Dyron Nix on this team. Your go-to scorer, Isaiah Verge. He had 21 in that Rockville game. The couple free throws were huge. You're right about that. But he didn't really even – I don't know if he even took a shot in the third quarter because of whatever reasons. But talk about that kid, what he's been to the program, and the fact that he could stay in the game mentally – even though things weren't going his way in the third quarter, and had a huge fourth quarter.
Yeah, we credit to him. I've challenged Verge a few times this year because we've just had to have him. And he went from barely getting in as a junior to having to be our go-to guy with graduation and kids leaving and injuries and everything. And we need him to play well for us to have a chance to win. I brought up the Siegel game. Against Siegel, I think he had 4 points, and didn't really impact the game. And, we told him against Rockville, for us to win the game, he's got to have an impact. He came back and had 21 and 13. But, Verge is an inside-out guy. He's an inside-out scorer. He could score in the post. He could score from 3. Sees the floor well. He's a pitcher, so he kind of sees the game, from that lens as far as a baseball guy. But, I've been really proud of him this year. I thought that, he's played really well. I don't know if we, replayed this season, if he would play and be as big of an impact as he has been, because of, his work ethic in season and what he's done to give us a chance and give his team a chance to win. And he's just one. He's our I guess second leading scorer on the year, but he's one of our guys that for us to have a chance to win against Laverne tonight, he's one of a few that are going to have to play pretty well.
So let's talk about another kid you mentioned earlier, Chase Bandy, who's come back. He had 4 threes in the Rockville game. Talk about that kid and the spark that because he kind of ignited the comeback with his threes.
Yeah, Chase, we needed a shooter, just to be honest with you. We hadn't been shooting the ball very well, and when Chase has came back, he's definitely gave us that spark, at first off the bench, and then we've kind of started him the last few games. I talked about in an article in the newspaper, it's funny how quickly he's gelled with our team, and part of that is he's a natural leader, part of that is how hard he plays, and part of that's he's played well, and it's easy to follow somebody when you do those things, and the kids respect you and respect your work ethic. It's a lot harder to lead if the kids see you goofing off or not taking things as serious, but Chase doesn't do that. Chase comes in every practice, he's excited to play. That was why I hated it so much when he got hurt there at the end of the football season, because I knew how much he meant to our team. He's definitely gave us a spark here, and he's been averaging right around double figures. And again, he's one that, to bring up those two, the difference in the Siegel game and the Rockville game was they combined for, 34 against Rockville or 35. I can't remember how many Chase had 14 maybe.
14, yeah,
So they
exactly.
combined for 35, and then against Siegel they combined for 4. So we may not need 35, but we definitely can't have 4 either. So those two are two of our important guys tonight, and hopefully, we'll put them in positions to be successful and find a way to come out on top tonight.
You got to get your horses out of the gate. We're going to talk about horse racing here for a minute. Rebel Stakes Day today. I've touched on it in the last segment. There's a horse running today out of the Ron Moquette barn. Rafael Bejarano rides. He's 15-1 on the morning line. Time for Truth. That's his name. It's the Time for Truth now tonight, Coach, right? Win or go home.
Yeah, exactly right. And, it's not going to be easy. Laverne, Coach Rutland does a really good job. They've got, really good players, speed, athleticism at the guard, 2 kids that really shoot it well. They've got, the big kid inside. And then they've got some other role guys, watching tape, you could just tell, and, his name escapes me right now, but Zero, man, he just does everything that they need as a role guy. He rebounds a mess out of it. He'll defend your best player. He's going to pressure the ball and press, and, they've got a really good team. There's a reason they won 20 games, finished second in that league, and, they're up 9-0 on Cookeville the other night, and then, it just kind of got away from them. But they're a very, very capable team, a quality team, and we'll have to play well tonight, and hoping that, we can slow them down a little bit and find a way to make it a 4-quarter game and give ourselves a chance there at the end.
Coach, you've done some really good things here in a short time at Oakland. Talk about basketball at what's now a football school, but has been a basketball school too, because, when you think about the Oakland tradition in boys basketball, they've had some fantastic teams. So do your kids understand the tradition of Oakland High School?
I try to talk to them a little bit about it. I don't know if they understand it all, because, this generation's all about the present and what's going on right now. Like we were talking college basketball earlier, they may not know how good UCLA used to be, or, some of those other, powerhouses, Louisville's, etc. But, for us tonight, they understand. We talk to them. They understand the expectation and our expectation as a culture and what we've got to do to keep it going. And hopefully, we've made it to the regional tournament the last 2 years in this exact game and had a lead in the 4th quarter and just not been able to finish it out. But we're hoping, maybe to change that tonight, and if not tonight, moving forward, in the future, very near future.
Well, there's a certain level of presence when you have Oakland on the front of your chest. There's no doubt about that. Dyron Birdwell doing a fantastic job over there at Oakland. If you want to see a really good basketball game, I got a feeling because of the matchup is fantastic. Go down there to Laverne, see the Patriots take on the Wolverines, first round of the region. Coach Birdwell, we appreciate your time. Certainly wish you the best of luck.
I appreciate it. Thank y'all.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, the largest and most comprehensive orthopedic surgery group in Middle Tennessee. Find out more at TOA.com.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
I'm Ian Young. I'm at Las Casas Feed Supply. I'm selling beef and pork, 100% Angus, raised here in Las Casas. Come get you some.
Everyone's favorite cuts available, even options to purchase a quarter of a steer.
We got the beef. Hello, everybody. Las Casas Feed Supply.
Family owned and operated Las Casas Feed Supply on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East.
Your 401k is likely one of your most important assets, but it's only one part of a comprehensive retirement strategy. Edward Jones can help you understand how your retirement assets fit into your entire retirement picture so that you can work toward meeting your unique retirement goals. Contact me, Lee Colvin, your Edward Jones financial advisor in the Public Shopping Center on South Rutherford Boulevard, or give us a call at 615-907-7056. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
This is Stan Vaught. I'm a lot like you, a husband, father, farmer, auctioneer, and community supporter. I'm now a candidate for school board in the Las Casas, Walter Hill, Milton, Leanna, Oakland, and Siegel communities. I believe in community schools, vocational education, and getting education back to the basics. I'd appreciate your support for school board.
Early voting going on now. Election day is March 5th. Paid for by Stan Vaught for school board. Stan Vaught, treasurer.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by JHA Company, Josh Houston and Associates, jewelry, letter jackets, yearbooks, graduation products, and more online at jhacompany.com. I'm Danny Brewer. I'm extremely pleased now because I'm joined by Stewart's Creek head baseball coach Brian Howard. Coach, how are you this morning?
Doing very well. We appreciate you having us out today.
Oh, no, we're super excited to have the Stewart's Creek head guy here, you know. Second year at the Creek. Let's talk a little bit about the Creek and life at the Creek. Tell me a little bit about it as the head baseball coach there. Very successful baseball program there since the school opened. So how about it, Coach?
Yeah, it was a blessing 10 years ago when Coach Bartlett gave me a call, and he bragged on the Creek and how good of a place it was and how fortunate we were to have not only the administration that we have, the athletic director and the leadership, but also the facilities and stuff we needed, and just a great community. The kids that we get are not only good at baseball, but they're great kids and got great parents, and it's just been a blessing to be a part of it for 8 or 9 years with Coach Bartlett, and now going forward. Just a rock star program I'm really proud to be a part of.
So when we talk about rock star, I guess rock star and Mike Bartlett go in the same sentence. He may not agree with that, and some people may not, but Arkansas boy Mike Bartlett, but man, he did a fantastic job of bringing that up from ground zero to where it is, and I mean all the state tournament appearances, all that kind of stuff. So how has it been stepping into those shoes for you? I mean, obviously a little challenging, but we both know Bartlett really well. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I consider Coach Bartlett not only a best friend, but a mentor. He did a phenomenal job building that program and coming over and getting to be a part of that building process, and the passion and the pride that went into it, just makes you want to be sure it goes on a little bit longer during your time. And I think the foundation that he built is so solid and so strong, and actually really looking forward to competing against Coach Bartlett today. We've got PCA coming over with Barry Bartlett, head coach, and Mike Bartlett, assistant coach, at our place here.
The Bartlett double. Hey, well, I didn't realize that. Well, that is exciting, right?
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to have a lot of laughs, and we'll get after each other too. It'll be fun. So I'm excited about today.
So, the pressure, or is there any pressure when you're stepping in? Because like I said, all the success that he created, and you were a part of that too as an assistant. So and that was one of the things that Coach Bartlett always said was, man, my staff is so fantastic, and I know you were a big part of that. So has there been any pressure on you? You feel like, or is it just kind of business as usual? You're just in a different role now than you were before.
Yeah, sure. They say don't replace a legend, and that's what he was, but. The system that we had in place, there hadn't been wholesale changes or anything like that. We've just kept going with it, and I've got great assistants as well that do a lot of the coaching, and we were able to hold on to just about everybody on the staff, and trying to fill those shoes was hard, and he picked a good year to get out too. That 22 bunch was really, really solid, but we went on a run last year and made another state championship appearance, and look forward to trying to continue that tradition.
Well, if it ain't broke, you don't fix it, right?
That's exactly right.
So let's talk a little bit about Creek. One of the things that's helped you guys is, just pitching and defense, which we know that's what wins in baseball. Talk about what kind of pitching you think you got this year.
Yeah, we're really fortunate to return 3 senior arms. Aiden Schwartz was our 2 last year. He's going to probably be our front-end starter. He pitched a lot of big-time games in the postseason last year. Was great. Easton Barnett. He is going to be in the starting rotation as well. He's a senior. He signed with LMU. Aiden Schwartz is going to Lee University. And then J.D. Speakman, big hard-throwing righty. He's going to be a starter for us, and he's signed with Vol State. All 3 of those guys are going to be strike throwers. They're going to be power pitchers, and they got a way to get rid of hitters. They fill their position. Really proud of them. And then a junior, Chase Fernandez, again, a hard thrower. who's going to pound the strike zone, and we're looking for big things out of Chase as well.
Now, Chase, I think his mama's a softball coach. Is that right?
That's correct.
So he's got it in the bloodlines, because I know his daddy was a pretty doggone good baseball player too.
Yeah, and we had his older brother Alex back years ago that was on one of those state championship run teams as well. So good family, good people.
You said something that really kind of struck me. I used to coach baseball, so like strike throwers. That's what you want from your pitchers, right?
Oh, 100%. We preach it. It's not real complicated. If you can compete in the strike zone with multiple pitches, you can confuse timing. You're going to have a chance to be successful at the high school level. But you got to pound the zone.
Pound the zone. So, and also when you pound the zone, you give your defense a chance to play defense, which is also very important. Talk about your defense.
Yeah, we're really excited about what we have up the middle this year. A.J. Jackson is going to be our second baseman, and J.J. Odom, who just got off the basketball court, is a phenomenal fielding shortstop. So in the middle, you got to be strong. And then Coleman Neese in center field, a junior. He's going to probably be in that leadoff spot for us. And as a junior, we've gone ahead and named him a team captain, along with Easton Barnett, who's a senior. So we're looking for big things out of them. And then behind the dish, we got two kids that have been kind of working while they waited. Luke Diamond and Lex Falsoni were great catchers, and Hunter Blanton and Easton Young kind of had to wait their turn, and they're both ready as juniors. So we're going to be super solid up the middle where you want to be, and then we're going to look for some pop in the lineup on the corners, both in the infield and the outfield.
Coach, when we talk about the Creek tradition, which we've mentioned, and all the state terms, does that help you? I mean, do these kids understand? And obviously, they've come up in the program, so they understand what being at the Creek's all about, right?
Yeah, I think they do. I think they carry a little bit of that burden, and they know there's expectations, and we try to be sure that they understand the history without talking too much about the past. We want them to have those same memories. Those memories in the dugout in a state tournament, you can never replace those. But we have plates of all of our accomplishment on the back of our dugouts. We just hung a Mr. Baseball sign for Gage Hoover last year, who was Mr. Baseball in our classification, and we want those kids to see those things and then push for them as well. So being part of a great program is one thing, but establishing it going forward is another.
Yeah, and continuing that program, that you want those kids to have that hunger, right?
Yeah, and I think they do. They don't want to be, that program that kind of let it down or let it start to slip away. And we're going to work towards not allowing that to happen. And the kids have bought into that for sure.
So, Coach, I'm going to talk a little philosophy here. I'm old school. I believe in small ball. I think that you can win with small ball. Small ball is something that's kind of gone away at the upper levels, especially Major League Baseball for sure. Your thoughts on small ball and kind of how that plays into the game today?
Yeah, we think we're going to train our kids to look for hinge moments in the game, and as coaches, it's our job to look for those hinge moments. And then we got to train them to be able, we call it handle the bat. We have that round in our batting practice. They've got to understand when it's time to hit behind a runner. What to do in a hit and run situation, what's the difference between a sacrifice from first to second and a sacrifice from second to third. We've got technique that we practice on every day. Every time they come out of batting practice, they go bunt. Now, we're not going to bunt you to death in early innings, but we know once it gets to that 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th inning and we're looking for a run or two, we got to be able to move runners and give ourselves up. So it's an important part of the game, especially at this level, when you can't depend on the 3-run home run all the time. The way they do in the big leagues and upper tier college baseball, but you got to be able to handle the bat and do what you need to. Run on third less than 2 outs is something we've been working on a lot. And a kid that can just hit a backside ground ball right there is going to be huge for you, especially once you get 2 strikes. So they got to handle the bat, and that includes the bunt game.
It's about doing your job, right?
100%.
So when we talk about this, and this is just me being philosophical about the big league and stuff, do you think that that's maybe that the game is not as good at those levels because it's almost like, and I've made this comparison, maybe I'm wrong, it's almost like slow pitch softball. Either you hit a home run or you strike out.
Yeah, at times you do see that. You see it with kids nowadays more than we used to. We used to see kids that come along, even though now they're bigger, faster, stronger. That's 100% true. They throw harder. That's 100% true. But sometimes they're not as good as ball players. We don't have as many dirt bags that come through, just somebody that will stick their nose in there and get after it. We try to preach that. We want the hose pipe kids, the kids that go over and drink out of the hose pipe. They don't wave at mom and daddy to bring them a water. We want a hard hat lunch pail mentality. That's what we try to preach to our guys. So we've been fortunate enough that we can somehow separate that so far. It's hard to believe sometimes when you go and watch, different circuits and levels of baseball, the way the game has changed. But we're trying to hold on to some of that at the Creek.
Hose pipe kid, man, I love that. That's fantastic. If you say that to your kids, do they know what drinking out of the hose pipe's all about?
Oh, absolutely. They know exactly. We even talked to them. We had to teach them a few different techniques. You can let it run over the hand, or if If you got a hot one, you got to let that hot water run out first. So, yeah, we've talked about it. They know exactly what that means. We want them to be in our dugout. We want that to have some value. We believe that being in the dugout together is sacred at Stewart's Creek, and we're playing for that name on the front of the jersey. So,
like I said, all this stuff is fantastic, Coach. Now, when we talk about bigger, stronger, faster, you're absolutely right. Because how many kids in high school throw in the 90s now versus 90s thrower was like, one in 100. Now there's all kind of kids, right, that throw that hard.
Yeah, as a player, I saw a handful before I got to college ball, and just about every team around in the mid-state at the upper levels have they have a guy flirting with it at least 88, 89, and we got several guys, and it's just strange. Now there's also a big problem, but those guys aren't strike throwers. You have situations where their pitch count gets up, and then obviously the injury stuff. So we're going to try to take care of their arms and teach them how to pound the zone, even if that means losing a couple of miles per hour. Charlie Mitchell and Andy Schmelzer do a great job with our pitchers. They both had great success, not only coaching, obviously Charlie with playing as well. But our guys understand that. And I don't care if you throw 92. If you got a really good changeup to go with it, you're even harder to hit.
Right, Charlie Mitchell, man, that's fantastic because I know Charlie and I know his brother John. Fantastic guys, fantastic baseball minds. So he's got to be a huge addition to a huge asset to you having him still on the staff.
Yeah, Charlie's a major blessing and just the most humble guy in the world, best guy in the world. The kids wouldn't even know it if we didn't tell them sometimes, about Charlie. Charlie will show up straight from work and he just goes straight to coaching. He doesn't do it for any other reason. He loves kids and he loves coaching the game the right way, and he's helped our kids tremendously, whether it be not only pitching and throwing strikes, but Charlie comes from that school of being able to hold runners and being able to field your position and how important those elements are, being able to back up bases and being at the right place at the right time. And we've got guys all throughout the college ranks that come back and talk about how much he helped them because he's just a big asset for us.
Coach Brian Howard, I tell you what, I'm an old school baseball guy. You're preaching old school baseball. So if you want to see some good baseball, get over there to Stewart's Creek because they've had good things going on over there for years, and it's going to continue under Brian Howard. Coach, we appreciate your time.
All right, thank you.
We will be back in just a moment. The Coaches Show is brought to you by Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin, who will work with you to develop a complete, tailored strategy to help you achieve your financial goals. That's Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin.
When Rutherford Countyans think of insurance professionals, they think Rayburn Insurance Agency at 200 South Lowry in Smyrna, meeting the needs of thousands of customers since 1973. You can trust Rayburn Insurance with all your needs, a place where customer service really matters. It's personal with Rayburn Insurance, as fans of local sports, as friends, and as insurance professionals. Check them out at rayburn.net or call 615-459-4145. Rayburn Insurance, for business, auto, home, and life insurance.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom designed jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service. We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service reminds you that it makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We've been serving Rutherford County since 1988.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're just off Memorial Boulevard at 142 Heritage Park Drive.
Dr. Automotive is the cure for your car. Brothers Danny and Randy Brewer have been providing Rutherford County with ASE certified auto repair for nearly 20 years. You'll receive courteous and friendly customer service every time. Why? Because we grew up here and you are our neighbors. Foreign and domestic auto repair and maintenance on Hazelwood Drive in Smyrna, just off I-24. SmyrnaAutorepair.com, 615-220-0971. Just ask for Danny.
This Fanceroni pepperoni is fancy.
Am I fancy enough for the Fanceroni? I'm wearing cargo shorts.
But Tim, so am I.
Try the Fanceroni Pepperoni with over 100 old world pepperoni.
Little Caesars changed the Hot and Ready Classic and added 33% more pepperoni, which makes it 133% better pizza than before. It's really good.
Order a new classic online and use our convenient Pizza Portal pickup.
In Murfreesboro on Memorial, Warrior Drive, South Church, and Old Fort.
Pizza.
You've seen the ads out there, companies wanting to buy your home. But why sell yourself short when you can get fair market value? I'm Lisa Patton. If you have an estate to settle or a home to sell, call Parks Auction. We'll work with you to sell your home or property in any condition with no costly repairs on your timeline. Why accept one offer when you can have multiple? You need Parks Auction. We look out for your best interest. Call Parks Auction today. We handle everything.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by the law offices of John Day, providing superior legal representation to injury victims and their families. Find out more at johndaylegal.com. I'm Danny Brewer. We're back now, and man, I'm really, really excited to see this guy, the head basketball coach at Rockville High School for the boys, Wendell Ingram. Coach Ingram, how are we this morning?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Oh, no, we're always happy to have you, Coach, because, man, the conversation is always great. And, I love your philosophies and all that kind of stuff. But let's talk a little bit. I know you got a big game tonight. You're traveling to Cookeville, which we'll talk about that in a minute. But let's rewind just for a minute and talk about the district tournament last week. You played good, but a couple of games that got away from you.
It did. I think we went backwards a little bit on our style of play. We started playing as individuals and not to where you got us to the situation we was in. It's one of those deals where you get ready to play a game and guys know that it's awards to follow, and they feel like they have to go out there and still get some votes and still got a chance to get awards, but they don't really know that those awards is already calculated before we even play that game. And it's hard to tell a 16, 17-year-old that, and it's hard to tell some of those parents that as well who want to see their kid sign to the NBA the night of a district tournament. I had to tell them at halftime, the Grizzlies and the Lakers are not in the stands right now watching you play. So no one's offering you an NBA contract or NIL deal of a night of a district tournament. So I thought we played as individuals, a little selfish. And, not everybody, but, we had some that we had to have a meeting with and kind of hit the reset button a little bit to let them know that, hey, colleges want you, the longer you play, not just come out there for one game and say, okay, we're ready to offer you right now. So, we have to hit the reset button a little bit and let guys know, hey, this is a team sport. Rockville's in front of the jersey. No one has their last name on the back of the jersey and things like that. So, we hoping that we had a good practice this week and we can move forward.
Coach, I think that you can. The thing that I enjoy about Rockville basketball is watching y'all play, the versatility, because you can do it inside, you can do it outside, you can do it in transition. You got a lot of versatility on this team.
I do. It's one of those deals where we told them back in August when we first started workouts. We said, hey, we don't have the bigs, we don't have the 6'7", 6'8", 6'9" guys, but it's about heart. Everybody's heart beats the same way, and I can't make you grow overnight, but I can teach you energy. Having that hard work, having that just grit and grind. That's one of the terms we use a lot. Just play just be hungry. Be hungry out there. That's what we want. We want you to be hungry with nothing to lose. Play with a sense of urgency, high intensity, and just 94 feet of basketball.
Coach, the hungry, I love that term, and that's what you do want. And, watching you on the sidelines, I can tell you coach hungry, because I love watching you on the sidelines. You're animated. You're always in the game. You're always coaching. You never stop coaching, which I love that about your style. And also, let's talk about this too. You play lots of kids.
I do. The thing about it is, I'm one of those ones where if I put you on the team, that means I need you at any given second of a game. I don't put you on the team to sit there and say, hey, I just want you on here because I want to collect player fee money from you, or I owe your dad a favor, or you help the GPA of a team. I mean, that doesn't do anything for you. And when I say all of those things, because that's what you hear from other programs.
Right.
But I feel like everybody who runs out that locker room on a Tuesday, Friday, or Saturday night is going to put us in a situation to win a game. And, you know, other coaches, they can't really game plan for us because they don't know who we're going to put out there. And every kid that I put out there, they're gonna wow the crowd. They're gonna keep them on their feet, and everyone's gonna be saying, "Man, why doesn't he start? Or why doesn't he start?" Well, you really can't say that because I have 12 starters on the bench, while 5 is on the court already. You know, my manager can probably play. He runs scout team with us some days. So we got a culture that we're building over there at Rockville, man. That we're letting you know that, hey, when you look at our roster and we got 3 seniors on the court, just know that we got 11 and 10th and 9th graders next year that you're going to see that's going to be pretty good and experienced. Yeah.
And I think you're right. That does make you difficult to game plan for because you have so much versatility, like we just mentioned, because of different kids can do different things, different combinations. Let's talk about a couple of the kids that I know had pretty good district tournaments. Ty Newton, I think he had 18 against Oakland. What about Ty Newton?
Ty Newton, man, is one of those kids that I've been around since he's been in the 4th grade. Him and my son are really good friends. Ty Newton, he works his butt off, man. He's a good kid. He plays baseball as well. That's really good at baseball, which he's probably going to go D1 in baseball. But he practiced basketball with us until about 5:30 every day, and then he goes with his dad and they pitch and they hit and they do baseball agility drills. And then he's looking at game film where he'll send me a text and be like, "Hey, you know, this kid can't go left." And then in the mornings, I see him talking to his baseball coach, talking about baseball. Ty, he shoots the lights out the ball. You know, some of the coaches will look at me and be like, "Man, if we can stop Ty, we can stop Ty." He shoots it very well. I think Coach Burwell told me he had like 5 threes against him. And man, great kid. I'm trying to use him in a situation now to where I can get him to match his defense the same way, and he's going to be dangerous next year, his senior year.
Because I think that he's like got the high arcing 3, right? And you know that is a thing of beauty. Like I'm old school, and I remember there was a boy that I compared him to that used to play back at Smyrna, Tony Cannon, with the high arcing 3. I mean that's a thing of beauty because it's that anticipation. You see it going up to the rafters, then bam through the net.
He gets on to me a lot because when he misses it, I get mad, but I don't get mad because I think every time he releases, it's going in, and he'll look at me as he runs past me, be like, "I'm sorry, coach, I couldn't hit it." And I'm like, "All right, don't worry about it. Get it back on defense." But he said he watches my face every time he let a shot go because I got my fist ball ready to, you know, jump up in the air because I think it's going in. I'm used to seeing it in practice. This kid can shoot the ball. He can shoot it very well.
He can, of course. You know, you got a lot of time because, like I said, man, the Joker goes to the rafters before it comes down.
Yes.
Let's talk about another kid, Daryl Cotton. How about that kid? I mean, very strong basketball player.
Daryl Cotton is the same, basically like Ty. The difference between Ty and Daryl is Daryl can get you on the mid range. He can pull up at that elbow and he can shoot the ball very well. He handles the ball a lot more this year than he did last year. Daryl can shoot the ball. He can do some stuff. Same with Ty. We're trying to get him better on the defensive end, so I can keep him in the game. Because when teams start putting their best couple players out there and he has to guard one of them, you know, it could be a liability sometimes. But on offense, he can get you.
So let's talk a little bit about tonight. Traveling to Cookeville, we know it's a tall task. I mean, they're a good basketball team. Usually they have 5 guys on the floor that can flat shoot it. Talk about the defensive challenge for tonight.
Man, so you basically said everything that I have on the dry erase board in the locker room. 5 guys that can shoot the ball. Great team. But the thing about it is it's a tall task, man, but there's no other team that I would rather go to war with but Rockville Rockets. I mean, these guys, they play like they have nothing to lose, which I tell them that. You have more, you know, to gain and nothing to lose. And our motto this week has been, you know, why not us? You know, they've played in a district where, you know, I don't feel like they had the type of personnel like we have. We're going to push the ball. We're going to run them up and down the court because the thing about it I told our guys is when you run a team, they don't have the legs to be able to continue to shoot the 3. And that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to pick them up defensively full court. I can say it, it's no secret. Everyone knows our style of play. We're going to pick you up full court. We're going to make you beat us 4 quarters. You're not going to be able to get the lead and say, all right, we can sit back now, because we don't let that get to us a little bit. It don't matter if we're down 10, 15, 20. We're going to play until the last horn goes off. And the problem is, it's tough environment to play in. They got a great student section. I tell our guys we can't play to the crowd. We're going to leave a little earlier than normal. The coach reached out to me and said, hey, we have 3 gyms here. And I told our guys, hey, they got 3 gyms. I'm talking to them. They were like, 3 gyms? Man, where are we going? And little stuff like that. So we had to let them know, hey, that's just to psych you out, man. It don't matter if they have 1, 3, 4, 5, 7 gyms. We're gonna win in one of them tonight, hopefully.
There you go. That's right, Coach. Absolutely. And I think that playing the kids that you play gives you a little bit of advantage, because you can always keep fresh guys on the court to play defense, right?
Yes, definitely. We're going to do something different tonight than we hadn't did all season. And we've watched film. We saw some weaknesses, and we're going to see if we can exploit those just a little bit and play on Tuesday night.
Well, I think that the beauty of this game and this time of year is anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Last year we played Antioch. We hosted last year at our place the first round, and Antioch had got upset, and we shouldn't have been playing Antioch. And we didn't care anything about Antioch. We took care of business. We beat Antioch, and we went on ahead and played that following Tuesday night, and that's our plans tonight. I'm not ready to put the uniforms away, because even though the weather's nice and it should be baseball season, but I'm ready to keep dribbling that ball in our gym for a little while longer.
Well, your shirt says Cardiac Boys, and
yes.
It's time to go ahead and throw a little heart out there and do what you're supposed to do, right?
Hey, we're Cardiac Boys for a reason, man. Our games are not for the people that's taking medicine at night or in the mornings and drink a lot of water. Hour and a half drive to Cookville. If you guys out there, man, come on out there tonight. I promise you we're going to put on a show for you. If not, they got plenty of fast food places on the way back home. You can eat and talk about us, and we'll figure it out.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be good things that you're going to say, because, Coach, the one thing that I really like about your program, like I said, you always seem to play hard.
We do.
You always seem to play hard. That's Wendell Ingram, head basketball coach at Rockville, doing some great things. I think he's got his boys ready. We're going to see what happens tonight. Coach, wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Las Casas Feed Supply, locally owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, specializing in animal feeds, premium pet foods, farm supplies, and more.
You've heard people say, you know your work by your name, but there's no better name for residential and business concrete work than Dan France Concrete. From basic slabs to decorative stamping, for your next concrete project, call Dan France Concrete, 615-642-5152.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Trust me, Dan is committed to the community and will offer you a great product. He'll stand behind his work and make sure you're satisfied with every aspect of the work. Dan France Concrete.
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
An app for easy payment.
Solar energy solutions. I just want to talk to a real person when I need help. Energy tips and low rates.
Done, 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 done.
I want to fly my car to the moon.
Houston, let's talk about electric vehicles. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at mte.com.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And we welcome you back to the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. John Dingett's here with Matt Rigsby. I want to tell you first that this portion of the show is brought to you by Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin, who will work with you to develop a complete, tailored strategy to help you achieve your financial goals. That's Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. Matt Rigsby joins me here, and this time of year, I'm telling you, it's pretty doggone exciting, isn't it? It's scary.
Exciting, yeah. Exciting could be a broad term for many other emotions. I can guarantee you that.
Let's take a look at the last few games that Siegel has played, and you lost a tough one against Blackman in the district championship, but one beat Oakland 56-40. Blackman's been your bugaboo the last week or so, and then you beat a good Mount Juliet team. So tell us, going into this tournament, where you stand, because I know you were disappointed in the loss, in the district loss.
Yeah, it's tournament basketball. You've got two good teams going at it. It's no secret Blackman started playing, a double big rotation, a dual post situation, and that hurt us the last game of the regular season. They done a great job, so obviously we had time to prepare for that defensively, and we done a great job in the district championship game. And defensively, held them to 49, held the three bigs combined to like 22, 23 points, somewhere around in there. But we kind of forgot we got to play offense too. So so the shots wouldn't fall for us. And again, credit Blackman, they had something to do with that defensively. But we just had a poor night shooting the basketball, and we were a little passive. Didn't really attack like we're accustomed to doing. And so yeah, that one happened.
Oh, your freshman attacked the basket. Was it Lyles? Is that
he's sophomore?
A sophomore,
yes.
Okay.
And he's going to. He does a great job of that.
But you're right. It tended like they were a little passive. Maybe another word is tentative. I don't know, but it wasn't what I had seen accustomed in championship game. What I'd seen Siegel do, because I know they're much more capable of doing that.
Yes, we settled, and we had to really go back and watch the film and make them understand, what a good possession looks like, and on the flip end of that, make them understand what a bad possession looks like. And it's goodness gracious, my players, my kids, my young men, they're awesome young men. It's not a selfish. It's not a. It might be maybe coach's problem. Maybe I've not done a good enough job to make them understand at what time do we distribute, or at what time do we just attack. And so we've focused on that. We've had a lot of time here sitting on our hands for a week from then to now.
And let's we're talking like they've not been successful. Gosh, it's one of the best teams in Siegel history, I would think. You got a player of the year out there. But the teams go through these little mini slumps through the year, and you've got to overcome it and work through it. And that's just another situation. Maybe the timing's not as good as it could possibly be, but you're right there. You're sitting there pretty. You got a home game tonight, and in the region, so can't complain, I guess. Really.
No, we're 24-4. I mean, we lost a game.
Exactly.
It's going to happen.
I feel bad that I even brought it up that way.
No,
really.
You shouldn't, because I actually got to thinking about this. This is how big of a nerd I am. I went back and I searched men's college basketball, like the previous national champions. You'd have to go back to 1979, which obviously would be Indiana and Bobby Knight, I think they were like 37-0. Everyone else had lost 2, 3, 4, 8 games. It's going to happen. It's a long season. And, that's life. You're always going to run into somebody that's going to be better than you at something.
Yeah.
Especially on any given night. So, yeah, there's no reason to, hit the alarm and everybody panic. We lost the basketball game. It's going to happen.
And you got off to a lead in that game. I mean, it just seemed like it's just a certain period of time in that game. But kind of forgetting about regrouping, you've got Carter Webb, okay, and teams are focusing on him like crazy. And I think it's a matter of the other guys need to relax and just pick up the slack. If he's only scoring 15 or 20, he can't score 30. Well, Carter probably could, but if there's a game he's not, you've got the weapons. They just got to have the confidence to finish it off.
Yeah, I've gotten a conversation actually last night or night before last with a coaching buddy of mine. We were going back and forth. Kind of in a jovial manner, but he's like, well, you'll always be fine, Coach. You've always got the best player on the floor, 9 times out of 10. And I've heard that so often this season. And, yes, Carter Webb is a phenomenal player. He knows that I know that. But we don't play one-on-one. You've got to run 5 out there, okay? Yeah. It takes everybody. It's a team sport. And so everyone, again, they don't have to play perfect basketball, but everyone has to, within their skill set, do their job for us to be successful, for any team to be successful. All 5 on the floor have to produce.
And, again, I think it's just going back to basics and doing what you're doing here, and let's just relax, play ball, and play Siegel basketball. I mean, that's really the bottom line, isn't it?
Yeah, nothing got broke, so again, no panic to try to fix either.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just tip your cap to the opposing team.
Well, I think the last time he played Blackman, they got off to a big, huge lead, by hitting everything that they threw up there. And then the other night was much more physical. I thought I thought it was just basically shot selection toward the end of that game against Blackman toward the end, you know. So those are minor things, really. When you really look at it, they're major in terms of results, but they're minor things to correct.
Yeah, if we're talking about poor attitude, and lack of effort here,
yes,
that's a different situation. We're just talking about getting more quality possessions. I can fix that quickly.
Yeah.
So again, no reason for alarm.
Yeah. Well, you've got a game against a team that's, I guess, they're young but up and coming. I mean, they've played better toward the stretch, haven't they?
I'll be honest with you, I had no idea how young they are until I saw their roster yesterday. Coach Jim McDowell at Lebanon, who we have tonight. Jim's got some Murfreesboro basketball roots here, former assistant at Riverdale years back. He only has 2 seniors on his roster, so yes, they are young. That makes them dangerous. That makes them hungry.
Freshman young players, I think they don't understand a lot of time. I mean, they don't,
and that makes them dangerous.
Yes, very much.
That makes them dangerous. Sometimes when you get older and seasoned a little bit, you start to think a little too much because you do think you know a little bit more. And experience is experience, so you do. But I think reckless would be in a good way would be the term. So yeah, we're going to have to be ready to have a solid all-around offensively and defensively basketball game and adhere to the game plan as well.
You've got it's do or die now, and a lot of these games mean so much. How do you prepare your team for that kind of thing? Do you harp on that a lot, or do you just kind of do your thing like you've normally done? Or I've always wondered, because to me, I think as when I was coaching, I always in my mind thought about it 24/7. I tried not to give it too much that vibe to my team, you know.
That's a great question, John, because I don't know that I get it right. This year I've just taken the approach of I'll just on the board draw out the bracket. Like, say we're entering the district tournament, draw out the bracket. This is what it is. This is the facts of the situation.
Kind of a visual to them.
If you do X, Y will happen. If you lose, going home will happen. So I tell them that. I don't feel we should – I tell them that so they understand the situation at hand. But after that, I don't mention it anymore. I don't feel like we should harp on it. I don't want that creeping in their heads. Again, back to just go play.
Yeah. And I think your bunch, they understand. You know, they understand what it means to them. People talk a lot of times about how young everybody is, but your guys – I mean, you've got juniors and sophomores. I mean, you're playing. You play young. You've got a lot of people coming back next year too.
We do, and just so much credit to the seniors that I do have. Though, goodness gracious, I love these kids. They are just leaders, not just basketball, just for Siegel High School. They're just phenomenal young men, all around, off the floor as well, of course, and. There's only, and we have had this conversation, though, back to your previous question, is there's only one team that ends this season a winner.
Yeah.
And so.
We don't understand that a lot of times. The public doesn't, but it is true. It's so true.
There's only one.
Well, good luck. It's a home game. We're going to be there tonight, and it's against those pesky Lebanon Blue Devils. So you got to get, I think, is this the scariest game, or is it the semifinals? I really think sometimes this is the scariest game in terms of, you got to be ready, be prepared.
Now, you about set me up like I was looking ahead. You about set me up there. This is the scariest because it is our next one.
Right.
There's as much riding on the region quarterfinals as there is the region semifinals, because if you lose either of the two, I'm playing golf the next day.
Yeah. And sometimes it's hard to relate to 17-year-olds,
Y'all hear that? John almost got me. That was good radio right there. You almost got me.
Matt Rigsby, good luck tonight. We'll see you there. That's Matt Rigsby, the head coach of the Siegel Stars, and this portion of the show is brought to you by JHA Company, Josh Houston and Associates, jewelry, letter, jackets, yearbooks, graduation products, and more. Online at jhacompany.com. We're going to be back, and we'll continue with the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner.
We're talking now with Heather here at Carpets by Osborne. What are some of the advantages that Carpets by Osborne has?
Being a family business and being locally owned and operated, we do free estimates. We have our own subcontractors that work for our business. We will come out, look at your floor covering. Throughout the whole process, you deal with an individual. You're not passed off to different contractors. We handle it from start to finish.
Carpets by Osborne on Northwest Broad, next to Tire World.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And we welcome you back to the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. And this portion of the show is brought to you by the law offices of John Day, providing superior legal representation to injury victims and their families. Find out more at johndaylegal.com. And joining me here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner is Eagleville head coach Davey McLaren. And Davey, got a big one coming up tonight, and the girls won last night. Congratulations to Chris and the girls. I thought that was a huge win for them.
Yeah, they played really good last night. It split with the team during the regular season, but they just continued to improve all year, and the girls just looked dominant from beginning to end last night. Really good win for the girls.
I was expecting that game to be a little closer, but it turned out not to be. So that was they had a big lead at halftime, didn't they?
They did. They jumped out. Actually, Santa Fe jumped out 5-0, and I think our girls went on something like a 36-1 run. So
unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
they
right.
played
Well,
really
congratulations to them. We got to talk about you though now because you've got a big game coming up. But I wanted to run by some scores for you. If you talk about a team that's getting hot for tournament time, it's the Eagleville Eagles because you have won, I think, at least 5 straight. A win over Huntland, Fayetteville. This was down the stretch, and Moore County. And then you defeated Fayetteville in the district championship 64-46. And, a lot of people don't understand, too, just how young you guys are because you got a really young group.
We do. We start 3 sophomores and 1 senior and 1 junior. The sophomores, they've been successful in pretty much all the levels, but they're still young at times, and playing at this level, it's challenging no matter how athletic you are, athletically gifted, size-wise, whatever. So you got to learn to be mentally tough and emotionally tough. So really proud of their growth, but also proud of the leadership that we get from our senior C.J. Goers. He was in his 3rd district championship in 4 years as a 4-year starter. So, it's a testimony to his leadership and to his growth and to, what he's brought to this program. So he's helped lead these young guys to a championship this year. And, we've got a tough game tonight.
When you talk about, and you mentioned it just a second ago, these sophomores that you're playing, though, they're accustomed to winning. I mean, it's not hard to motivate them, is it? Because they've won as 8th graders, 7th graders, 8th graders, freshmen. It's something that's kind of in their DNA by now.
Yeah, you have to sometimes find ways to challenge them to keep them hungry because a lot of it is internal. They just thrive on winning and they work hard. But you don't want them to get complacent and you don't want them to feel as though it's just going to happen without working hard. So, there's kind of a fine balance between what we as coaches how we have to challenge these guys sometimes. And but they're always up to a challenge and they have had some success at all levels, but we want to have success at this high school level, and it takes a different focus and a different emotional maturity. So they've been really coming along this year. They've grown so much since last year.
And Davey, when you go back to the regular season, there's 4 teams in your district, right?
Yes, sir.
And when you do that, you have to schedule teams. And not only when you schedule, you have to schedule
I would think, tough opponents at times to keep them motivated because of the fact you do only have 4 teams in your district.
Yeah, it's really posed a challenging situation when we went to 4 classes, and then we had Cornersville drop out of our district this year and move to our region. They just changed districts, but still, scheduling becomes a challenge, and so we like to go out and challenge these guys, put them in situations where hopefully the teams they're playing, like a Portland or a Rockville or somebody up in classification, is going to kind of resemble what a team in the region semifinals, finals, or sub-state or state tournament would look like at the single A level. So we take them to Scottsboro, Alabama for a Christmas tournament and play 6A teams down there, and we pick up different 2A teams and 3 and 4A teams. So it's been a long year, but a short year. Just going back and forth with a non-district schedule, and then getting into the district's challenging too, no matter what level, just because they're so familiar and you play them 3 times.
Yeah,
a lot of times. Yeah. So that poses a different problem. So I'm just real proud of these guys and their focus and their growth in a lot of areas to get to this point.
Well, I know you had to play Fayetteville twice in about 10 days due to the district championship and playing them earlier. It's really hard to keep it, and it's hard to beat a team 2 or 3 times a year, really, anyway.
It really is, and especially when they're athletic. Fayetteville was our only loss during the regular season in the district, and that was an overtime loss at their place, which is extremely hard to win at. I think we've won there 1 time in the 6 years I've been here. So that was last year, and so it's a challenging district at times, and then to come back and play a team, like you said, it was within 7 days, and then play well. I mean, our boys really stepped up and played great on the defensive end and executed at a high level on the offensive end. I'm just very proud of it.
Well, during this stint of this district tournament, you had the luxury, because of your record and where you finished first, you got the opportunity to host the tournament, and that's a huge advantage. I mean, I think for young kids it really is. But I may be wrong. But your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I just feel, our bench will play a lot better at home during tournament time. Just being comfortable. The bench players, they just come off the bench and they're comfortable at home. The surroundings, the goal, locker room. You don't have to travel. I just feel like anytime you play at home or you're playing somebody and you're on the road, you have to take into account that their subs are going to play a little bit better than what you might have seen in film on the road or at a neutral site. So you have to take into account for that, and I feel like that was to our advantage in the district tournament. We had some guys that came off the bench that were comfortable. We had several players that stepped up and played a little bit better because they're our youth at home, and we get to play at home tonight, and hopefully that'll help us get this win tonight, and then we'll be tested going on the road.
It's do or die, I guess, is the way. There's no way to sugarcoat it. You've got to win tonight. And how do you address your players with that situation?
Yeah, I mean, I think they have to know the consequences to handle the focus. We went on and started talking about that so that they could go ahead and get that kind of out of their system. They understand what's at stake. Obviously, they understand it from last year when we got to host last year and we got upset. I don't know if it was an upset. Both teams were pretty much identical. But playing at home, it's always considered an upset. So, they still feel the sting of defeat from last year. So this game's got a little bit more emotion to it because they want to get past a game, go one game further than they did last year. So it's definitely a game that we talk about all week long in practice, and we try we try to, have a good hard practice all week, keep that fresh on our mind, and just kind of prepare ourselves to, anybody can beat you at this time, so you have to show up.
And I guess I want to talk a little bit before I let you go about Culleoka a little bit. Everybody's dangerous. I think when you get to this point of the season, everybody's dangerous. So tell us about them a little bit.
Yeah, Culleoka, they play 7 guys. They have their 5 starters are all, better skilled than what I would say the Culleoka team that we played last year. They're a year older. Almost all of them are back from the team we played last year. And just like us, they're better than what they were. They've got 2 really good shooters, scorers on the wings, and they got a quick little point guard. And they got one post player that comes off the bench. He's lefty, and he's probably their biggest player they got. But for some reason he comes off the bench, and I guess he's comfortable in that role. And he's led them in scoring a couple times. So when he comes in, we're going to have to be aware of him because he can shoot it from several different areas. And so they're not going to be a pushover by any means. They played Richland and Santa Fe, 2 teams that, Santa Fe's been in the either 1, 2, or 3 all year in the state in single A. And they played them to, a single-digit loss one time, and Richland the same way, who I feel is one of the top teams in the state. So they're not going to be intimidated by our big gym, by our athletes. They're going to come in and they're going to play hard, and it'll just be a good test for us, and we'll have to play.
Going to be a great crowd tonight. Keep those baked potatoes coming. I'm telling you, Davey, it's going to be a packed house, and good luck, and let's continue the streak. How about it?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's Davey McLaren, the head coach of the Eagleville Eagles. This portion of the show brought to you by Lascassas Feed Supply, locally owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, specializing in animal feeds, premium pet foods, farm supplies, and more. And when we come back, we'll be joining Cougar Corner. Stay with us.
The Blue Raider fan source for officially licensed Middle Tennessee gear is Raider Tees. T-shirts, caps, sweats in all sizes, designs, colors, children's to plus sizes. Raider Tees has decals and license plates to show everyone your favorite team. Plus, check out their wide selection of Blue Raider art, jewelry, even golf tee markers. Show your Blue Raider pride with the largest selection of Blue Raider merchandise anywhere by shopping Raider Tees, 910 Ridgely Road, just before the bridge over Broad behind Chewy's.
Pizza. Murfreesboro's favorite pizza is now hiring at all 3 local locations. That's right. We want you to join the Sir Pizza team. Stop in at our East Main, Veterans Parkway, or Memorial Boulevard locations and let us know how you'd like to join the Sir Pizza family. Also, we've made it even easier to order for carryout or delivery. Just head on over to sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com. It's MTCS Cougar. It's time to talk MTCS Sports. It's Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA, live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
We're joined by Middle Tennessee Christian School coaches to talk about their most recent games and their upcoming opponents. It's time to talk orange and white on MTCS Cougar Corner.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
People love to see us on the schedule when they have a home game because our fans show up.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
The way we travel is just phenomenal. Our parents and our community are fully engaged in our school. When we compete, we're trying to do it in a way that honors God. We want to win. We also want to do it in a way that pleases Him.
Providing Christian values and academic excellence in a nurturing environment. That's Middle Tennessee Christian School. Invest in the future of your child. Find out more at mtcscougars.org.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
We're going to be an educational institution that teach Bible every day. Every subject we teach, we're going to teach through a biblical perspective. In every aspect of our school, we're going to do it through a Christian perspective.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
That also means that everything we do, we have to be excellent. We feel like Christ calls us to excellence. And so that means we have to be excellent academically. That means we have to be excellent athletically, because that's what God calls us to. It's a great place to be.
Invest in your child's future in an environment that fosters Christ-centered values. To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And John Ding is here with you for this edition of Cougar Corner. And I've got great news today because I've got a new guest, first-time guest here on the show. It's MTCS softball coach Brad Bird. And Brad, welcome to the show. First time.
First time. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
And let me move your mic just towards you a little bit. There you go. Let's get to know you first, okay? Because I think Valena was there last year and got the program in pretty good shape.
Yes.
And a lot of young. But tell us how you got here.
Well, I joined the MTCS as my daughter came in 5th grade. That was, I think, 11 years ago, maybe 12. I'm in my 11th year on the campus of MTCS.
Oh, so you're not a newcomer at all.
Not a big newcomer to MTCS. So I started with Julie Smith. She and I, as Julie was the head coach, I was just always a much better assistant coach. Being told what to do is a lot, but I learned it from my wife how to do what told, and learned it from Julie. So it was a wonderful thing. So as our daughters transitioned up, and she went up to the high school program. Of course, I joined her, and then I stayed on. Valena was gracious enough to allow me, as she and Pierre came in to do a great job with the program, to let me stay and be the assistant and take care of the field and do the kind of burn the energy that I love.
And here you are.
And here I am.
But you have a lot of, really though, the experience, and you weren't planning on, 11 years ago, you were planning on being the head coach of MTCS.
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, last year was my goodbye song. I had kind of said, hey, I'm stepping away. Program's in great hands. I said, I've had my 10 or 11 years and I can walk away. So when Piercy called me, it was a little bit of surprise to say, hey, we need you to come back in the interim position, and I was glad to do it. So, especially with the seniors. I've got some girls that have been there a long time,
and the interim position is kind of a good thing because
it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, you can make decisions too, regardless. I think everybody always thinks, well, we can, if we don't want this guy or something happens, but really you can too. You can step away if you think, say, hey, this isn't for me. But I know you, and I just by the way you're talking, you love Cougar softball, and I think this is a real. And those girls have gotten older now, and I think you're going to have a pretty good year. Don't want to put pressure on you, but maturity is everything, really, to me.
Maturity is, and we have a large senior class. And then it just it drops off. I've got one junior. I've got, I think, 3 sophomores and 3 freshmen. So senior laden class with my pitcher and my catcher both being there for 4 years. They were so starting off with that, we can go right into it. Isabel Potter is our starting pitcher. Greer Foster at catching. I have Mateus Ciramella as one of my seniors, Hannah Rosinski and Riley Smith. Interesting thing, Matea, Greer, and Isabel were part of the freshman class as we went to the Elite 8 in the state 4 years ago.
Yeah.
They both were actually starting. 2 of them were starting in that, but all got playing experience in that time, so it was a wonderful thing.
Yeah, that's a wonderful thing. When I talk softball, and I guess, and I may be totally wrong with this when I ask the question, experience is really good to have, and game experience. But, like with softball, these girls play at such a young age, and it's more of an individual type. It's you against the pitcher, that kind of thing. So isn't it a little easier that the experience isn't the end all to everything, that
a freshman can play really well, have a good freshman year, a sophomore, that kind of thing?
That's right. I think from that aspect of it, a freshman or sophomore can be impactful as they come in. I mean, once again, it is when you're in that box, it is just you and the pitcher, and the pitcher has the concept of she knows what she's throwing, but as the batter, you have the weapon. So.
And don't get me wrong, they got to have skill, and that takes coaches, and that takes experience, and the level of competition, I would guess, would be tougher as you get older too.
That's correct. That's correct.
So you get on the mound. Let's talk a little bit about your infielders you've got coming back in the outfield. If you can just kind of, I don't want to put you on the spot. I know that's hard to do, but
actually, I only have 2 infielders that are returning. Elena Reynolds is a sophomore. She played second base for us last year. She is returning. Poppy Jo Howard is my first baseman. This is her 3rd year in the program as well. Big hole, as Rosie Davis left last year at shortstop, so I am looking to try to fill out that hole. And at third base, I've got a freshman, Molly Grace Wood is her last name, who's coming in. It looks like she'll be able to perform those duties, and I'll just have to move around and figure out short.
Yeah. When you talk about inserting players, what do you look for is it the mental part of it, or just that they can handle, like third base? To me, you got to be able to handle a bunt. You got to be able to, have a good throwing arm, that kind of thing.
You do have to do that. And, third base, I start with fear.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have any fear.
Right. Good point.
And,
yeah.
If I can figure out who doesn't have the fear, and then I go from there to the glove and the feet.
It's an amazing position in softball. I mean, I think to me it's the hardest position in the infield, even more so than shortstop.
I would say it is the toughest because of the demand that position does put on you, the demand to charge, the demand to stay firm, to verbally help the pitcher run the field too. A lot of times your shortstop and your second baseman are the ones that have their back to the play and they're in the field. You're relying heavily on that third baseman and pitcher to be verbal.
And of course, hitting is a big part of it, and you're looking for girls that can slap that ball around a little bit and score some runs. You got to score. You got to have some runs.
You have to score.
Yeah.
You could either have a really good shutout pitcher, but you still have to score.
Yeah.
You got to get that ball around.
So on that front, do you think you've got some weapons that are going to be?
I really do. Like I said, I've got some. I'm heavy in the senior class. They're experienced in that. Poppy Jo is probably a pure swing. She's a force to be reckoned with when she's at the plate. So I do believe that through quite a few spots, I have the ability to generate some runs. And I hope that plays out.
So, am I wrong that you've kind of been on the ground floor of MTCS softball, haven't you? I mean, 11 years. I mean, it hasn't been in existence that long, has it? I mean.
The program?
Yeah.
Well, the program has been around, I want to say, since the 80s. They have had a women's softball since kind of the beginning.
But the 80s are a whole lot different than the
80s are a big difference than
they
are now.
From the time 11 years ago that you started, I can imagine you've seen all kinds of changes in how the game is played. It used to be a pitcher sport. I mean, if you had a pitcher,
a lot.
It might be 1-0, but you're going to, you're going to be in good shape.
I would tell you in that 11 years, I think some philosophies behind pitching have changed dramatically. I know from my aspect of it, 11 years ago, if you had a horse, you would ride that horse through 3-4 games, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I mean, today we still want the horse, but you still want to break it up and try to have 3 or 4 pitchers that can go, or somebody that can give a different look. Once you get through 2 or 3 rotations, and batters are smarter. I'd say coaching has changed in that philosophy. The bat swing is different now. The technology of reviewing your swing, reviewing pitching, it's wonderful to have 2 to be able to come to that mound and give you something different.
2's idea. 3, you're in a luxury. You're in a luxury suite with 3, aren't you?
I think if any school has 3 pitchers, they are in a luxury suite.
I know we've been broadcasting a lot. I've got a little. She's in the 6th grade. She's a pitcher, And I didn't really want her to be a pitcher because I didn't want to be one of those grandparents that are out there, throw strikes, So she's gone through some pitching coaches, and everybody's philosophy is a little different. But when you talk about winning games, I think it is good to change it a little bit, and you don't want to ride. It's so much stress on one kid to carry the ball, isn't it?
It really is. It's hard to fathom, but sometimes some of the best pitchers are the ones that just have no memory and no care. If they can take that mound, and if they throw the strike or throw the ball or they plug the batter accidentally, that they just wipe it clean and get ready to go again.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing. It really is.
It is.
But she's going to pitch. I thought she would play.
I think that's awesome.
I try to make her an infielder, so she can play infield. But anyway, enough about that. As you start off this first season, I know there's a lot of goals that you would like to see, and lights have been an issue. Not having lights, and
it has been for a while.
And so if you can work on, I know you're going to try your best to get that kind of going and to continue the effort to get that. But what do you want to put your stamp on MTCS softball? What is it that you want this team to do and your teams and maybe in the future?
Boy, that's a good question on the spot. I feel like my stamp has been there.
Yeah.
As far as just attitude of the girls, developing the play.
Well,
the whole point of being, it's the luxury I have was the assistant coach. One of my favorite positions ever, right? You don't have to be the bad guy. You can always be the good guy. You're the man sitting there handing out Skittles and M&Ms, patting them on the back, telling them everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It has to change a little bit coming in to being the head coach. But as I leave, each senior class, I try to teach a little bit of leadership too. Not demanding, but just how to control your environment, control the lower girls. I hate to call it lower class, but leave something for them to carry on. And that's what I've always tried to have my stamp be. Leave something for that next class to carry on.
Now, you obviously had girls that played and been through but it has to be a tremendous advantage that you've been there through all that, through all the coaches. I mean, it's just got to be a walk in, and it's got to be comforting, I think, for the girls too.
I think it is. Having, I'll use Greer Foster as an example. She's been playing since 5th grade. So this is a young girl through middle school that was a starter as 5th grader, made it to high school, was a starter as a freshman. So one of the few that I can name some, but one of the few that you can really say from 5th grade on in this program has been a starter the whole time. But she's always seen at least the same face somewhere on that field.
Yeah.
And it is comforting to most of them. I think you can kind of walk around the campus and it's easier to talk. It's easier to get girls that are on campus to come out and try softball.
And hasn't that been MTCS's philosophy too? They're very good about people that are in their program, in this program, and in their school. They don't mind. They have guts or whatever. I don't know what you call it, but they don't mind throwing someone in there that has been with it, because I think they do care about the kids and what's happening.
Yes, sir. I mean, you talk about family, and it really is a good family atmosphere, and that's part of it. My assistant coach is Matt Ciaramella this year.
Mm-hmm.
His daughter Macy played for me. His daughter Matea is currently playing for me.
So one big happy family.
One big happy family.
Yeah.
And I think that goes a long way in the program and the comfort level. As you say, we're a small school, right? Our student athletes have to play multiple sports, and we have some great student athletes that are good at multiple sports. But going in and getting that volleyball player that can be effective on your team, or getting that basketball player or that track player, hey, come run for me. Come try the outfield. you got great hand-eye. Give this a whirl. You may have never thought about it, but give it a whirl.
Amen. Yeah, I mean that's what you got to do. We know we've talked, and we're going to run short a little bit today because of basketball. But Brad, it's been a pleasure talking to you. We didn't even talk about when the first game is or anything like that. And I guess you've already scrimmaged at least.
I have not. Ironically, the flu bug has been a little bit of an issue with us. We also have a mission trip and a senior class trip that's kind of in our spring scenario.
It's okay. It's too cold anyway, you know.
Well, a little. Boy, these last few days have been nice to get out there. So our first actual, we don't have a scrimmage lined up because of that. Our first game is March 12th against Laverne.
Go for it.
It'll be a 6 p.m. game, and we'll see what we have.
I love it. I love it. Brad, it's been great talking to you. That's Brad Bird, the new MTCS softball coach. Well, he's not new to the program, but he's new as the interim coach here for MTCS. And that's going to do it for Cougar Corner. We appreciate Brad being here, and that's going to wrap it up. And to all you Cougars out there, you're doing a great thing. You're doing a great job. And this is John Dinkins saying so long, everybody, from Cougar Corner.